Where you going, George?
George! Poor George.
Please take a seat, sir. So I am Eric Gallagher, the best man, Danny's friend from high school. Thank you, Ava, or Ava. I'm also known as Rick or Eric. It's a great speech, an even better slideshow. I was crying the whole time. Mostly because I wasn't in it. Thanks, Ryan. I can't believe, no blame to you, Ava. You don't know. Before I make a very forgettable speech, just like to thank the parents first, Sandy and Big George. It's been a great night so far. The night is young. And to the DeVutis, it's great to meet you all personally, and I think we're all looking forward to tomorrow night. So let's go ahead and raise our glasses to the parents, the bride and groom. Cheers. Now it's down to business. For the rest of the bridal party, I thought the rehearsal was okay earlier. A little rusty. And frankly, bridesmaids, I'm a little worried about some of you tomorrow. But you know, I'm a perfectionist, and as the Heinies know, I have a long line of coaches in my family, so I'm willing to stay up late and run through things a few more times tonight, just so that we make sure we have it all down. So any bridesmaids who want to run through things later, it's fine. But before you get the wrong idea, at best this will be a little confusing. For some it may be disappointing, but I am married. My wife could not make it. She is due with our second baby boy. Thank you. In 3 weeks, so I'm not here, missing that. So it is our second son, and we'll keep trying until we get that girl. Or until Sandy tells us to stop, because if anybody knows when to say when, it's not those two. Dessert's coming in, so try to bear with me. So I talked to Chris Heine, Danny's brother, a little bit about my speech, you know, because everyone knows he's a pretty contemplative, calm, and intellectual guy. And so, you know, I was looking for someone to give me some advice. And, you know, he talked about, you know, the good speeches he's seen, the best man speeches. They've kind of talked about the process of writing the speech, you know, shared a story. So I'm going to go with his advice. So I was sitting on the plane this morning, just jotting notes about, you know, what I wanted to say in the speech, and there was this really gorgeous woman sitting next to me, and she tapped me on the shoulder and said, "What are you doing? What are you writing?" So, you know, wow, that looks really good. So I put my pen down, took my earphones out, turned to her and looked her right in the eyes and said, "None of your business." Does that work, Chris? Does that work? So that's the story. So anyway, Pone, I'm really happy and relieved to be able to pass the torch to you. I believe there's a lot of people in this room who try to make a man out of Danny for a long time, and so good luck to you. So Danny and I have been friends for about 15 years now, since the early part of high school. We had most of our classes together, in high school. We played on sports teams together. And, senior year, Danny got to ride in my 1989 V6 Army green, slightly rusted, muffler-less Chevrolet Celebrity each day on the way home from school. And these were some of my fondest memories. If I introduced Danny, to somebody who didn't know him, I might cite some of these, fond memories, the formation of our shared experiences. Now, if Danny introduced me to you, which he's done several times tonight, he probably would not mention any of this. What he would mention is how I sold him out as his college roommate. In fact, his mother is now introducing me that way to people. So I do want to spend a few minutes talking about this. And in fact, when Danny asked me to be his best man, I accepted on one condition, that he could no longer bring up the fact that I sold him out as his college roommate. And he agreed. And then 2 weeks later, I had to call him and tell him that my wife was pregnant and due right around the time he was getting married, so that I might indeed sell him out for the wedding. So, we'll have to wait until tomorrow's completed before I fully fix the deal. But anyway, so we've both been accepted to Rhodes. We had both sent the enrollment deposit check. Sorry, Mom and Dad. We had filled out the application that said we would be roommates together. In fact, our names were both published on their website for different sports rosters. And then I sold him out. What he doesn't tell you is that he should have seen it coming all along, because I had been screwing him over actually for a lot longer than that summer. So I'm going to share a quick story. It was graduation, high school graduation, and yeah, Danny was a valedictorian, but that's not what this is about. There was this other award. It was called the Catherine Mordecai Award, and it was for the, where you going, Brennan? Brennan. Part of the story, but anyway, there's a Catherine Mordecai Award for the graduate who was most outstanding in the field of medical studies. So there were two people in this room who were highly qualified. One, obviously, Danny. Brennan Sumich, who just left, also graduated high school with us, went to UGA for undergrad, and then went back to LSU med school. Is now an ophthalmologist. Both of them extremely qualified for this award. And so, you could cut the tension with a knife when they stepped up to the podium to announce the winner. Fortunately, it wasn't Danny. It also wasn't Brendan. Ladies and gentlemen, the perennial underdog was the winner that night. Even though I had no aspirations to be a doctor, go to med school, any of that, I won. So I'm here to make things right. Danny, you deserve this award. And I'm sure you can etch out my name or put some masking tape over it, but this is for you, buddy. You missed it, Brendan. Get that. You didn't bring that award today. So I spent the better part of our friendship, trying to get him in trouble in class, stealing his graduation awards, selling him out as his college roommate, offering a bedroom in my home in Nashville, only to kick him out after 1 week. So you might be wondering why I'm up here even doing this. And the only thing I can think of is that his brothers are that much worse to him. In fact, I was told I could not finish this without sharing a few things from his brothers. It'll be real quick. Just that Danny is the HGPOC. He is the world-renowned geologist and the world Lego champion. I don't get these either, but gotta say those. In all seriousness, Danny's my best friend. We're both on our own accord pretty sarcastic, usually the most sarcastic person in the room, so when you put us together, it gets a little ridiculous sometimes, and I've learned later that also it's very annoying to other people. But sarcasm aside, I've always admired Danny. He's always known what he's wanted. He's always set his sights aimed real high, and he's always achieved what he wanted. Pone, we don't know each other really well, but I can say with confidence that, it's just another example of Danny knowing what he wanted, obviously setting his sights really high, and here we are today, so he obviously, once again, achieved. So I'm really proud and honored to be the best man and to lead us in raising our glasses to the bride and groom, wishing you undying love, joy, excitement in your marriage. Cheers and salamati. Thank you.